What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is on the history of the Laval archetype. We are drawing closer and closer to the end of this whole thing, which will actually end on basically something big. What I'm going to be doing once I've discussed all of the different archetypes, which will end with X-Sabers, actually. I'm going to be talking about each of the different hidden arsenal sets. Talk about some of the different decks that were built from within those sets, amongst others. And yeah, that'll pretty much just be it. It'll all end with Hidden Arsenal 7, Knight of Stars. So at the time that I'm recording this, it is Thursday, July 29th, and it is 7 p.m. You guys have probably already just saw my video from earlier today. The reason why I'm doing this now is because, yeah, more plumbing. Apparently the guy is supposed to come in and plaster on some stuff, some shit onto a wall. He must have forgot. So yeah, so that's why I'm doing it now, because I have no idea. I have no idea what time he'll be here, but hand sanitizer, just so you guys know. Yeah, so I have no idea what time he'll be here, so that's why I'm making the video now, and I'll be posting it in the morning, which will be when you guys will see this. But without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So the Laval archetype is a archetype that was released in the Duel Terminal set Violent Descent. Their team symbol is an orange flame, which is often carved into a flat stone or disc. All of the known Laval monsters that we know of have fire as their attribute, as well as the majority of their types being either pyro or warrior, actually, which is pretty cool. Most of the Lavals have mill effects and use other Laval monsters in the graveyard. So kind of similar to the Dark World archetype, but it's a little bit different. It's a little different. And then some like Laval Codal. Yeah, I believe I have that one right in my notes here. Simply, they need just enough Lavals in the graveyard to activate its effect. So Laval Codal, I'll actually look it up here. Here we are. Laval Codal is a 2-star tuner. 1300 attack, 700 defense. Hidden Arsenal 6 was its release, and it was actually a super rare. If you have 3 or more Lavals with different names in your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's kind of like so it has a sort of like a Cyber Dragon effect, but the cost is that you have to have three in the graveyard, basically. Others like Laval Judgment Lord actually banish Lavals from the graveyard for cost, and then cards like Laval Cannon can recycle Lavals that have been banished by other effects. The Synchro monsters are all based around managing the Lavals in the graveyard with their own effects, and by managing it means putting them in the grave while putting them both in the grave and recycling them back into your hand and or into your deck, or summon them from some of the Lavals from the graveyard, which is basically what it meant. This archetype can work well with Light Sworns and other self-milling decks, which are basically like Dark World could be another good one, which is kind of a weird one. Another good partner archetype is Flamvell, which was actually an archetype that I talked about not too long ago. Actually, it was actually a long time ago, several weeks ago, or actually rather, yeah, it was actually just a couple weeks ago that I talked about the Flamvells. Since both archetypes are fire and many of the members include a few synchros, have 200 defense. Level Force Sprite, Level Volcano Handmaiden, and Level Lancelord, as well as KN, the Master Magma Blacksmith, can benefit from cards like Flamvell Fire Dog and Rekindling to swarm to just make your board and go into your synchro plays and attack for game, which is pretty cool. All synchro monsters require one or more non-tuner fire monsters, which is really insane. As far as the story involving this actually ties into the whole Duel Terminal battle that happened with the ice barriers and the gem knights and whatnot. So the levels lived in a lava zone that's surrounded by fiery woodlands. A tribe that was born for battling. The only thing that they wanted to do was just fight. They didn't care about anything else. All they cared about was fighting and winning. That's it. For that purpose, they attacked the Gem Knights multiple times to start a completely different conflict. However, the Steel Swarms ended up attempted, or rather started to take over the surface land. And so from that, the levels had to work with the other clans. Forming a temporary alliance with the Vylons, they obtained new powers to fight back against the Steel Swarms, and soon the Union finally defeated the invaders, but the conflicts had not lowered just yet. Because the Vylons decided to stop fights between the clans by exterminating them completely. But later on, the Levels teamed up with the other clans again in order to stop the Vylons' actions, in which they fused their powers to fight back the Order. But of course, after defeating the Vylons, the Union had disbanded, and the Levels went on to work as a new power source for the rituals of the Gishki tribe, which I believe, or actually next week will be the Vylon archetype. In 2 weeks, I'll be talking about the Gishkis, which will be pretty cool. But since then, the current fate of the level tribe is completely unknown. Completely unknown. And as far as their appearance, visually, most level monsters appear to be made out of molten rock or lava, which is pretty simple. The archetype's name is a corruption of the word lava, which is kind of the same as to how the Flamvell archetype was named. So it's kind of similar, but at the same time, it's kind of not similar. It's kind of not similar. As far as the playing style, the archetype mainly focuses on setting up your graveyard to enable different, in order to enable multiple effects from both the field and graveyard. Most is easily done with the effects of Molten Conduction Field, and upon completing the graveyard setup, you'll be able to unleash a massive swarm of monsters and overwhelm your opponent with multiple synchro monsters. One card that can help you do that is a card like Rekindling. That card can help you revive many level monsters with 200 defense, with Level Magma Cannoneer being an ideal non-tuner due to it being a 4-star and able to set up the graveyard on its own, right, just by itself. Some Flamvells can be added to the deck to increase the speed of the deck, mainly meaning it'll help you turbo out your deck to go into more of your synchro plays. Some cards like Flamvell Fire Dog and Flamvell Magician are cards that can be useful. Fire Dog is extremely good because it can search for multiple different tuners, and with the help of Rekindling, the deck is actually capable of unleashing multiple big synchro monsters such as shooting Quasar Dragon and one of my personal favorites, Red Nova Dragon on the first turn. Does it sound simple enough? It does. Is it really that simple? No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Because summoning Red Nova Dragon is kind of impossible because you need to have the right amount of cards to summon it, basically. However, the build is this build in particular is not recommended to be used in the TCG due to rekindling being limited. Because that, as far as I know, I believe rekindling is limited. I can check on Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron. I think Neuron will show me, but I'll look it up on here just in case. But I think it is. Let's see. Here we have Forbidden List. Oh, I guess not. Never mind. I guess not. Never mind. It just shows the. Alright, let's take a look. Let's see the ban list. I have to go to the limits. Actually, rekindling is no longer on the list. I believe they got I think it got banned. Did it get banned? Did it get banned? Oh, I guess not. Okay, yeah. So rekindling it actually got taken off the list now, but as of now, but continuing on, Level Cannon can be allowed for a degree of toolboxing banished levels. Cards that banish your cards, your levels are cards like Gold Sarcophagus that can help, which can help set up Level Cannon. Lakeside Lady is another good one that can easily set up and can easily be set up and banished for cannon to summon either Lady or, of course, any other level monster that she had banished. Searing Firewall is another really good one, which can be used for massive link summoning plays after a successful Molten Conduction Field activation, as well as offering pinpoint banishing possibilities. The archetype has a wide array of synchro summoning options, which could make it quite flexible if started correctly. So there were so many different decks that were used back in the day. Quasar Levels was one. Some of the cards that you could use for Quasar Levels, you had Magma Cannoneer, Battle Fader, Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Inferno, which is still banned, Boost Warrior, Flamvell Dog, Gores, Pyrorex, the Elemental Lore, Lakeside Lady, Handmaiden, Level 4 Sprite, the Synchros, obviously Red Dragon Archfiend, Red Nova, Formula Synchron, Shooting Quasar, Shooting Star Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Tech Genius, Hyper Librarian, Level Duel Slasher, Level the Greater, Laval Dragon, Laval Chain, if it was legal now, which it's not. Fool's Burial, Rhoda, Trapstone, Royal Decree was another pretty cool one. Another deck that was actually really good back then was Level Xyz, which I believe showed more Xyz, quite a few Xyz monsters. Chain, Ignis, Ivagishiki, Marrowgeist, Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, Gemini Pearl, Levia the Sea Dragon, and number 61, Volcasaurus. When was the last time you saw that card in action? And then, of course, level Beatdown, basically. Using, a bunch of Lavavels and whatnot, basically that. So it was pretty cool. Blue Flame Swordsman was like one of the cards they could use. Cannoneer, Blaster, the Blazing Mars, just so many incredible cards. Now the weakness of this archetype is kind of interesting because with some of these ones, with some of the other with some of the other with some of the archetypes. Hang on, guys. My phone is acting stupid. My phone is acting stupid now. I don't know why. There we go. Anyway, so with some of the others, the cards that I had mentioned were cards like Dark Smog and Mind Drain and whatnot. This one actually is kind of interesting. Because that levels are graveyard dependent, cards that can directly banish cards are cards like Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure can easily be extremely harmful to the deck. However, cards like Laval Cannon can counter this up to a certain point. And by that, let me look up Laval Cannon. Let's see, Laval Cannon. So, Laval Cannon. When this card is normal or flip summon, you can target one of your banished level monsters, special summon that target. So, with that, basically, it can help. So, so if you end up normal summoning Laval Cannon, and a card like Macrocosmos or a card like Dimensional Fissure gets activated, you can just go ahead, normal summon. You can just go ahead and normal summon the Laval Cannon, activate his effect, summon out one of your other monsters that were in the graveyard, activate its effect to target one of those two cards and destroy it right off the bat. Or you can also use cards like MST, cards like Twin Twister could be another good one that can stop these two, one of these two cards dead in their tracks like really quickly. Cards like Necro Valley and the end of Anubis and Silent Graveyard are also dangerous due to the fact that they can easily disrupt several different effects such as Handmaiden and Lightside Lady. Their anti-special summon card, and the anti-special summon cards are cards like Archlord Christia and Vanity's Emptiness can also force the deck into a Screeching Hall, which could force the deck to just scoop right out the bat. Much like the other fire-based archetypes, this deck is highly oriented towards rekindling, and they tend to be very vulnerable if it's negated. And similarly, similar to the Gusto archetype, Discord makes a potent counter against more synchro-oriented versions of Laval decks. So it's kind of an interesting one. But I remember Quasar Laval. I remember this deck actually had gotten some tops back in the day, but with cards like Blaster and Laval Chain being banned, Gold Sarcophagus and Rhoda Limited being limited to 1, Return from the Different Dimension being banned. The deck, those types of decks are pretty much just dead. So it's a pretty cool archetype. Do I think it deserves any more support? No, I really don't, because the only way the archetype would be back at full power is if Fiendish Chain, not Fiendish Chain, is if Laval Chain came back up to 1. If it came back up to 1, maybe yes, but I really don't see it happening anytime soon. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the Laval archetype, and do you guys think it deserves any new support? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel. You guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every Friday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.